Oh dear, that's a good start. Are we all okay? Welcome back then. So if you remember in my last video I showed you how to make these really cute dainty little beaded bracelets. If you didn't see that video, I'll put a link under for you. Sparkle. And I said I was going to show you in the next video how to make a strung necklace to go with it. Now, so this basically then is really for beginners, showing you how to string and finish a necklace, matching one. So for this project, guys, you will need some tiger tail. Let me just widen you out a bit, you seem a bit close. You will need some tiger tail. You will need a Percy or any other measuring instrument, but I like my purse. Come on, Percy. You will need a set of jewellery pliers. So you know what those are, don't you? So your flat nose, your snipe nose, your round nose, and some cutters. You will need a extender for our extender chain, so the necklace will fit different size necks, or you may want it to go a bit lower down your neck. You will need 2 culottes or clams, or according where you come from is how it's pronounced, or the word used for them. So little culottes or clams. So if you look at these then, they've got a, once they close they look like a bead, so they'll look like that when they are closed. It encapsulates our crimp beads. Once we put the crimps on the end of our tiger tail, it'll be hidden by the clam. And it's really clever because it's got a little loop on the end, so instead of having to add a jump ring, we can add our extender chain or our lobster clasp, because today that's what we're using. We are using a lobster clasp. And obviously you will need a selection of beads. So I'm going to make this one again. So I'm going to be using some sea beads, size 11 OC beads. These are Miyuki brand, and they are a galvanized dusty lilac in colour because they match my purples. I'll be using a selection of crystal beads. So I've got the drops, I've got the rounds, I've got the smaller rounds, and I don't think I've got bicones in that. No, I haven't. So I've got a selection of 3 beads. You can use whatever beads you have. You might want to make it with pearls and sea beads of varying sizes, so it's just down to the pattern then that you end up choosing. But for me, this is what I'm going to use today. So get your bits and pieces together and we'll get some beading done together. How about that? Woohoo, beading! Here we go then. But I did leave off this, the little heart, because you might want to make just a lariat type or just a string. You may not have a heart or something that you want to put on. If you do have a heart or a feature bead or something that you'd like to hang off your necklace, then you will need one of those. I'm using a heart and I'm using a large jump ring because the jump ring needs to go through the heart, okay, or through your bead, so you need a long jump ring. Okay, so another thing that you might find useful is one of these. Now I don't always use one unless I'm designing something where I want to be able to lay out my beads so I can see what it looks like, but today I know what I'm doing. But these do come in handy okay, and they measure out your beads for you so you know what size that you want to make your necklace. Today's and you can buy these from, well, you can see this is from Beadsmith, but you can buy them from most bead stores or off the internet, okay, and they've got nice handy storages for put your selection of beads in, so you can pick out your beads and place them where you'd like them to go, etc, etc, etc. And you can even use this as a bracelet, so if you wanted to measure out your for a bracelet, you can do that also. So they're quite a handy tool to have, but I know what I'm going to be doing today. And I just wanted to mention as well, I'm still using, if you saw my bead haul from aliexpress.com, I am still using this selection of beads. Incredible really. I've had 3 bracelets out of it. I'll quickly show you 3 bracelets out of it, 1 necklace so far. I'm going to make another one today, and I've also had earrings out of it as well. If we've got time, I will pop on, I will pop on how to make a selection of earrings as well if we've got time. Let's have a look-see then. So I just wanted to mention that to you. So because I am going to be making the same style of necklace as this one, I've already counted out my beads. So for this I've used on either side 2, 4, 6, 6 of these 8mm drop beads. 6 on one side and 6 on the other, so 12 in total. These are 6mm crystal rounds, faceted rounds, and I've used 24 in total, 12 on each side. 14 of these smaller 4mm round crystals. Okay, and I did say I hadn't used the bicones, but actually I had right on the end here. Just 2, so 1 on each side. Okay, and a selection of your 11OC beads. Okay, so if you're going to be doing the same sort of thing as what I am, where you want to put a feature bead in the centre, on this one you can see that I used a small, what are they called? Brain fog. Anybody else get brain fog, or is it just me? What on earth are they called? Oh my word. It might come to me. I just can't think. What? Bugle. Oh, yeah, bugle. I think they're called bugle. Yeah, bugle beads. A really small one in the centre with a C bead on either side. But today I'm going to use just 3 C beads in the centre, because I don't think it really needs that bugle bead. But so I'm going to just use 3 of my C beads. So first off then we need to get our tiger tail. And I'm just going to measure off, because we're making a 16-inch necklace, I'm just going to measure off about 20 inches of our tiger tail. So, there, taking our cutters and just snipping off. And because where I've had it, can you see the kink? That's where I've had it sitting out of, otherwise it all unreels everywhere, so I just kink it in to the little notch there. So I'm just going to take that off and drop my tiger tail. Right, so because if you're making a necklace where you're not going to have a feature, or you're just going to do a lariat type necklace, so you can make this necklace any length that you like, but if you look on this one, can you see that my drop beads, because they are a drop bead, I've got them facing opposite directions, so that comes down to design. because I've got the centre bead, I want my necklace to be symmetrical either side. So in other words, I want to copy one side to the other side. If you're making something that's just completely without the feature, then you can put your beads on all the same way, okay? But because we're putting a centre bead on, we want the sides to be symmetrical. I hope that makes sense, and I hope I explained that as best that I could. I think I am. It's Thursday today. I have got a day off work, and I think I've got a little bit of brain fog. So my 20-inch piece of tiger tail, all I'm going to do then for the centre is pop 3 of my seed beads into the centre and drop them down. So now I know that there's my centre. What I do on one side, I need to do on the other side. To start off our pattern then, I'm going to pick up a 6mm on one side and a 6mm on the other side. Drop them down. Okay. Seed bead on either side. So I'm putting a seed bead in between each of my crystals. Okay. So making sure then that now I'm going to be picking up my 8mm drops. So again, talking about symmetry, I'm going to go from the fat side up, from the fat side up, seed bead in between. Like I say, for all you seasoned beaders, you know what you're doing. This is really for beginners. So I'm going to carry on with my pattern then. I'm going to pick up a large faceted round on each bead, on each side, with a seed bead in between. So what we're doing on one side, we repeat on the other side, okay? And then we're going to pick up one of the smaller faceted rounds. So again, you could be doing it with different size pearl beads or anything that you've got in your stash, or if you haven't got round to buying a stash yet, why not? I'm only joking. So, and then repeating the pattern and going to the large, picking up a seed bead on each, taking a look. Do we like what we see? Is it aesthetically pleasing? This is why I've said about these. You can lay your beads out and decide, and you can switch your beads around if you don't like your pattern. Okie dokie then, so moving on. Time for our large bead. Remembering bottom side, or the fatter side of the bead, the larger end of the bead on each, with a seed bead in between. Dropping our work down, having a little look-see. Do we still like it? Yeah, I like it. Do you think that's really quite nice? That'd look nice. No, Jane, carry on. Stop going off and choosing something else to do. So, isn't it funny when you're beading along, sometimes you can see other things? And then a bead, a little seed bead on the end. Okay. Moving on then, so onto our smaller beads. Yours could be, you could be using 8, 6 and 4mm of pearls or bicones. There's lots of ideas, lots of different things that you can do with little seed beads in between. Back onto our larger bead. Making sure that you only pick one seed bead up in between. I'm going to bring these in because you can't actually see me picking up these beads, can you? It's just dawned on me. So moving on with our pattern then, onto the bigger one from the bottom. What's the weather like where you are, guys? It's sunny here in Cornwall. Woohoo, the sun's out. Warming up a little bit. Warming up a little bit. Getting ready for summer, eh? I haven't worked on my summer body yet. My summer beach body. It's still in winter mode. I've been having to go to physio, and it's costing me a fortune. But the first visit I went was £50, and then each subsequent visit is £40. It's like, oh dear. But I can't tell you how much it's been worth it. He's sorting me out. Like, I had an accident on the ambulances, and I haven't been able to move my neck and look over my shoulders since the accident. This guy has got it now where I can look over my shoulder. How good is that? Both shoulders. How good is that? But it is a bit painful on the purse strings. Obviously, I obviously need to sell some jewellery, don't I? And try and pay for it. Then I won't have to worry. It's all mad at work. It's all coming into silly season, holiday season, so you can imagine, can't you? You can imagine what work's like for me at the moment. So onward we go, picking up our pattern of beads. Taking a look, making sure that our patterns are the same and our concentration is okay. Yep, so far so good. Not much more to go on my design. How about you? Are you beading along with me, or are you just watching and waiting to see if I make any cock-ups? A video without a cock-up with Jane would be something to see. Oh dear. I'm doing okay at the minute. I'm doing okay. Oh, I've got an itchy nose. I've just flung a bead off. There it is. I heard it go. I think the biggest part of when you're doing something like this is the design of what you find pleasing to the eye, and having things symmetrical, or you know, and you could be moving beads, and it can take you forever sometimes sorting yourself out of what you want it to look like, and placement, because you don't want too big of beads around the back of the neck. So we're coming up to the end of this, so this is quite a quick, unless of course you're planning your beads and your pattern, and then it's going to be a little bit longer, isn't it? just move that for you. So coming near to the end then now. So I've got my last of my smaller beads going on with my bicone in between, and the last of my smaller beads. So we're just going to repeat this on the other side with my bicone in between them. Okay, so now it's just a case of putting our seed beads on the end. Now I'm just going to have a little look to see how many I've got on. 2, 4, 6. So 6 seed beads on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and now we're going to put our ends on. So first thing I'm going to do is put the collot on, or the clam, and then there's a little hole, if you can see that. There's a little hole that runs in between the two sides of the clam or the collot. Just going to pop it on. Putting on 2 crimp beads. Oh, and I flung it. I told you it wouldn't be a video unless I made some mistakes. And 2. Getting our pliers. Giving one a squash and the other a squash. Making them nice and secure. So our crimp beads are flat. Okay. Cutting off the end of our tiger tail, just leaving a couple of mil. Bringing our clam up, squashing between our finger and our thumb just to start it off, and then getting our pliers and completely closing. Now you don't want to squash it so it's flat, you just want to squash it so it stays in place. Now a bit of practice makes perfect, and I'm just squeezing it the other way around just to make sure that our sides line up together. Taking my lobster clasp, popping it on, taking my pliers, I'm just going to roll the loop till it meets our clam, and I'm just going to gently give it a little squeeze just so it's totally secure. Okay, just adding a little bit of pressure until it's totally secure. Making sure it's lined up, making sure it's closed, and there we have one side of our necklace done. So I'm just going to slide my beads up. Okay, putting 6 seed beads on the other side now. Just going to move them out of the way. Dropping them down to my necklace. I'm going to have to fish me another crimp tube because I flung one across the room. The hoover makes a lovely sound when you hoover up the floor. Right, just adding the other side of our collot on then now. just going to put one of my crimp tubes on for this, for start. Now I don't want to sort of really pull on this. I want it still to be able, the beads to be able to move a little bit. So I'm just going to gently hold everything in place, making sure that there isn't too much of a gap. Going in with my pliers, giving it a good squash. Making sure it's flat. Lovely. Putting my next crimp tube on, or crimp bead on. Making sure that they're flat. Cutting off the excess of my wire between my thumb and my finger. Just going to start squeezing that clamshell together, that clot together. Bringing in my pliers, just giving it a little squeeze. Again, making sure that both sides line up. Taking my extender chain, hooking it over our loop, and bringing it down. Giving it a little squeeze. It's not done what I've wanted it to do. That's better. Reshape it a bit. Making sure it's flat because we don't want the extender chain to come off. Perfect. Making sure that it's closed. And there we have our necklace done. So all I'm going to do now then is put my heart on. If I only had a heart. I've got a big heart, maybe. I love that film, Wizard of Oz. See, there I go, off on a tangent again. Where's my pliers? There they are. So my big jump ring then, this is an 8mm jump ring. I'm just going to open the jump ring, always from north to south, never from east to west. Opening to a fair bit because we need to get it through our heart. If you're not using a heart, or you're not using oh Jane, before you close it you need to attach it to the necklace, it would help. So just going on to the necklace then, closing the same, making sure that you can feel those two ends rub together. So if you just take it a little bit past, it should bounce back. If it doesn't, give it a little squeeze. And there you have your finished necklace. Look how glistening it is. And can you see that the design that we did with these beads, that the bottoms are all facing towards the centre of our necklace, so everything is symmetrical. Ooh, I really enjoyed that. I bet that was quite quick as well. Did you enjoy it? What did you end up making? Are you watching it through and then deciding what you're going to make and then come back and bead along with me? That'd be nice. I mean, you could also put a little drop on the end of here if you wanted to. We could do that actually. What should we put on? We'll put on one of these. So I'm going to use a bald head pin. Not a bald as in no hair, but a bald as in a ball. So through the bottom then, with our ball at the bottom. Where's my round nose? Round nose pliers. Coming down to our bead. Let me just move that out the way so you can see. Pushing the wire away from you. Turning our pliers up to the top. Pushing our wire up, over, moving our pliers again, and then pushing the wire to the back. So we have this. Taking our flat nose band to swap my hands, swapping it into my left hand because I'm right-handed. So, and then taking the end of our wire, we're going to wrap a few times around, giving it a lovely wrapped loop. Taking our cutters and cutting off excess wire. Taking our pliers and just making sure that there's no end of that wire is sticking out and is going to catch our skin. Okay, perfecto, perfecto. And then to put it on the end of our extender chain, I'm just going to get a small little jump ring. Open our jump ring from north to south, going through our extender, popping our drop on, and closing our jump ring. And there we have our finished necklace with a bonus little charm on the back. I've just put it on this one instead of the one I've just made. Never mind, Jane, never mind. This is the one I made before with a little bugle bead where I couldn't remember the name of it. And this is the one we've just made with the 3 seed beads in the centre instead. There's no hope for me giving. Brain fog. It's Thursday. No excuse really. I can use Thursday as an excuse. A Monday or a Friday or something, but not a Thursday. So anyway, so there we have it. Our 16-inch necklace with a little extender chain and a little charm on the end. I love that. I think that charm really makes it. So you can have that if your hair's up, that'll be dangling down the back of your neck. That's really cute. Because I always put an extender on just in case that you want to make the necklace a little bit longer. It won't alter how it is here because it's done on the back of your measurements. Okay. There we are then. Did you enjoy that? Yes or no? Might have been a bit boring for some of you, but hopefully it's given beginners a little idea on how to make a beaded necklace. There is another way of doing it as well if you don't have these clots, but I do advise you, if you are new to beading, they're not a lot of money to get yourself a selection of clots in, because the other way of doing it would be, if you finished your necklace, you would then have to put a crimp tube on in your design of your necklace or near the top, and then thread through, so you would end up with that as your loop at the top, which isn't too bad, but I prefer to see that than that. I prefer to see that on a necklace than that. And then you would crimp here and then thread your excess beading wire through some of your beads to get rid of it. But I mean, it's entirely up to yourself, but I just prefer the clots. Sometimes I have made neck bracelets and necklaces with this, like this, where it doesn't really matter, or, you know, but I just, for me, it's more aesthetically pleasing to see that than that. But if you're just starting out, there's no harm in this whatsoever. It still does the same job, but this is nicer to the eye than this, in my personal opinion. You may disagree, and that's absolutely fine. Disagreements is what makes the world go round. We don't always, none of us are right and none of us are wrong. It's just what we prefer on our, it's what we personally prefer. But again, if you're just starting out, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I just prefer to see the clots or clams. So that's that then. So do you want to stick around and have a look at the earrings, or you're thinking, Jane, I've had enough, you're a bit boring today, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea and see if you still tell you what, put the kettle on, make a decision, and then come back, leave me playing, and then you can come back and think, oh, she's still droning on. Or you can enjoy and see these little designer earrings. Let's just have a look. Let's just bring them down so you can have a little look-see and see if there's anything that floats your boat. You might think, oh, well, a load of trash, I'm not watching that. And I came up with this one this morning. I thought this was quite nice. So I think I might show you how to make that one and that one, because I really like those ones. I mean, that one's nice, but it is nice, isn't it? So I might show you how to do that as well. Go make yourself a cup of tea and then come back. So you've come back. Gluttons for punishment, you lot are, aren't you? Kidding. Just my sense of humour. So I thought we'd start off then with making quite an easy one. Okay, so selection of your beads to match your necklace, or it could be something totally different. You just want to have a look at what I'm making. So, bald head pin again then, bald head pin, threading it on our first bead, obviously the larger side first, and a seed bead. This time we're using a bicone, because I'm making mine to match the one that I've already made. Yours could be an 8mm and then a seed bead, a 6mm, a seed bead, and then a 4mm seed bead, and then our smaller crystal and a seed bead. Okay, taking our, where am I? There they are. Taking our round nose pliers, making sure everything's nice, sitting nicely, holding our pliers so our wire is pointing straight up. Over it goes, turning our pliers upright, pushing our wire to the top, over to the front, moving our pliers up to the top, so it's just wrist movements over to the top, and pushing our wire behind. Okay, swapping our hands then, so our predominant hand is going to do the work, holding with our left, or if you're right, left-handed with your right, taking our wire, and we're just going to wrap just going to wrap the wire around the top of our beads. Okay. Getting our cutters. Trying to get in as close as we can. I can see a little bit more needs to come off there. Sort yourself out, Jane. Lovely jubbly. I'm taking our pliers and just running it around just to make sure that there's nothing sticking out. Job's a good one. Okie dokie. Because I'm making the same as this, I'm going to use one of the stud ear findings. Taking a jump ring. These are 5mm, but a smaller would be fine, okay, as well. Smaller will be fine, okay. I'm not even making sense, am I? Opening our jump ring from north to south, popping our new earring on and onto our earring finding and closing our ring up, our jump ring up. Some of these jump rings aren't very good, I have to say. It's better. And there we have our lovely earring. So we have a lovely pair of earrings. How about that then? Nice matching earrings. Nice and simple but effective. They all look lovely on. Nice and sparkly. So that's one pair. Right, so now you're going to have to bear with now. Ooh, that's my foot thing. I've got a footrest because I'm only short. And it's just clanged. There we are. Put my feet back on it. Right, so taking a bald head pin again, and this time I'm going to be putting my heart on. Threading it through, okay. Pinching the head pin together until they're flat, and then keep on pressing and they'll cross over each other. Okay, so you've got it nice and crossed. Just pull this one wire over to the side, and then we want the one with the side with the bald head pin, we want that to go straight up. So it's just a case of moving our pliers, use my flat nose, finding where it drops nicely, and then straightening, holding and squeezing your wire and just pushing the bald bit so it sits straight up. It's just a case of manipulating the head pin. okay, till it's in the correct position. Don't be scared. Don't think you're going to do anything wrong. The only thing you're going to ruin is a hairpin if you don't do it right. Okay, so don't give yourself a hard time. Right, so holding just below the cross, just below where your wires cross, swap hands, so putting it in your less dominant hand, taking, oh, let's just flatten that a bit more to the left, taking our wire, holding this nice and tight, and just wrap around a few times. Okay, and you shall have this. Cutting off our excess wire then, making sure that our little coil is nice and flat. Getting our round nose pliers, putting it just under where the loop is. Can you see? We want it just under where the loop is. A couple of mil from the end, and we're just going to hold the wire with, so we're curling the wire against our finger. So just hold it nice and steady on your finger and roll till our bald hairpin now, can you see the ball is facing either side of our heart, and this just adds a design extra, if you like, a little feature. I hope that's coming through okay. Can you see? Just trying to hold it so you can see. So the ball is facing one side of our heart. Okay, pop it down then. Now we need two jump rings now. Two jump rings, and because I'm making the second to this, I will need one of these ear findings. So you need to have two jump rings, otherwise the earring will not face forward the way we want it to on our ear finding. It won't face outwards. Are you with me? From the side of your, I'm making this sound more difficult than what it is. Imagine you've got an earring in and you want the nice side to face out so people can see it, otherwise it's going to be at the back. So you want that at the front. And to achieve this we need to add two jump rings. If we only added one, then the earring would be on the side and you wouldn't be able to see it. We want this to be at the front. Okay, so taking our first jump ring, opening north to south, threading it through our little loop we've just made, closing our jump ring up, making sure it's nice and secure, which it is. So can you see, if I was to add that on now, it'd sit on the side, so you wouldn't see. We need it to be sitting like this. So that's where we add our second jump ring. So opening our jump ring, popping it through one, and then popping it through the other, making sure we go the right way. So it sits at the front, and close our jump ring up. Again, this isn't a very good one. If you do get an awkward jump ring where it's not sitting very round, place your pliers inside and give it a squeeze where it joins, and that should sort it out. She says sometimes you just have to give, and that's alright. Sometimes you just have to give up and put it in the naughty pile and put it on the naughty step, but that's okay. So you can see now that we've got the two jump rings on, that's sitting at the front and adds a little design feature on our earrings. So that's two pairs of earrings made to match our lovely necklace. And then the last one. Right, are you ready for this? Right, so heart. Threading our heart through, or we're not threading our heart through, are we? We're threading our head pin through. Okay, now this is a little bit tricky, so bear with, you might have to do a couple of attempts, but we'll try. Bending our wires up, keep going until they cross. Holding with our, I'm going to have to do that way. Holding with our left just below the cross. Now we need to gently bend the bald side of the head pin over to the right, and now we're going to wrap this part around. Okay, so gently holding just below the ball. Now it does take a bit, it is a little bit of manipulation, you might have to change positions quite a bit, okay, but just stick with it nice and slow. Round you go. Let's have a little look at that. Okay, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, can you see now that the ball is facing forward? You might have to just alter things a little bit. I might try and take that a little bit more around actually. And manipulate it round. Squeeze that down a little. I told you this is a little bit more tricky, didn't I? So just persevere. It is worth it. I don't know if that'll go round all over again. Let's try. It might. Might have to do the last little bit just by pushing and manipulating it round. sitting right. Make it sit right just by manipulating, using your pliers, using your tools, because that's what they're for. And there you go, it's sitting forward. You see? Sitting forward. So next then we're going to add on a 6mm bead. And then we're going to do a loop. So holding our pliers over the top, pushing the wire behind us, moving our pliers to the top, pushing the wire up and over the top, moving our pliers again and wrapping and taking the wire to the back. Can you see now? You probably see that better now, how the ball is facing forward. Swapping hands, and we're just going to do a couple of loops. Cutting our tail wire off and just gently squeezing. I know, I appreciate this one's a little bit more challenging, but I wanted to show it to you anyway. I hope it made sense to you, and that's how it finishes up. And then we're just going to add a ear wire. I can get it out the bag, and a jump ring, right there, Fudge. I've got my little dog in with me, and then onto the ear wire again, making sure that the post is at the back, putting it on, otherwise it'd be the wrong way around. Closing our ear wire, our jump ring. It's been one of them days today, hasn't it? Can't get anything right. And there we have our lovely dangly earring. So there we have it then, guys. We've got, just pop that one there so I don't lose it. So today in our projects we have made 3 pairs of earrings. Well, you've seen me make one of each, haven't you, because I've already made the others. So 3 pairs of earrings, the necklace, and from the video before, bracelet. So there we have a gorgeous set of jewellery. Gorgeous set of jewellery. And you don't have to put the heart on there if you don't want to. If you remember from the last video, I showed you how to do without. I just think it's so dainty and so pretty. And I don't know. So out of, let's just talk about this little beading box. Excuse me. So out of this beading box then, I've still got all these beads left, and I've made 2 necklaces, 3 bracelets, 1, 2, 3 pairs of earrings. we are. So what do you think? Did you like that or no? Have you enjoyed that this video, or was it a little bit boring for you? I was thinking of next video to be doing some stitches. I thought either making something like this, hugs and kisses, or doing a square stitch, or doing some peyote, or some stringing, some more stringing. Thought maybe as well, put those out the way a second, that you could make, oh fudge, that was a big sigh. I think Fudge is sick of hearing me chatting. You could make necklaces, a necklace that was, now pretend that heart's not there, so that is 2 lengths, or you could do 3 lengths, you could do 5 lengths, you could do lots of sea beads. There's lots of ideas, isn't there? When you start playing, there's lots of ideas. So in any way, let's not digress from today's project. So I really sincerely hope that you've found something useful out of this. I do apologise if I've been waffling on and not making much sense. I have been suffering with a little bit of brain fog just recently. Apparently it comes with age, because I am through that time of my life, 6 years through that time of my life, and since I've got through the 6 years, the time of my life, in other words, the change, the menopause, brain fog's got a lot worse, and I just cannot think of the words I'm trying to say. So thank you for sticking thank you for sticking with me, and yeah, well, thank you. So there we are then. Stop waffling, Jane, stop waffling. So 2 necklaces, 3 pairs of earrings, 3 bracelets. I hope that you go on and make lots too. I hope that you've enjoyed the video. Welcome along if you're brand new to my channel. What have you let yourself in for? Only kidding. You're welcome. The madder you are, the better it is, the saner I feel. So until next time then, guys. Oh, do drop me a comment. I'd love to hear what you've got to say, even if you thought, yeah, Jane, you were waffling. Shut up, for goodness sake, shut up, woman. That's fine too, because I'll just laugh, so that's okay. And if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, like I say, I think I might do a stitches video next. Do a bit of square stitch or something and do a nice finished project. It could be a long one, but hey, beading therapy, that's what it's all about. I do apologise for the break. Haven't been with you for a couple of weeks. Have been working really hard, and my days off have been washing and doing housework, the things that I really hate, and I must get up in the bead room. And just haven't managed it. So here I am today, and that's all that matters. I found some time for you. Should be detecting again on Sunday. Woohoo! That's my other hobby, in case you're new to the channel. So yeah, Jane, stop waffling, stop going on, for goodness sake. Cut. Right. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the very next video. Take very good care of yourself. Much love to you all. Bye bye, and let's see those thumbs. Thumbs, 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 thumbs. Thanks guys, thank you for sticking with me.